107.9 FM. Hello, everybody. Good afternoon. It is Spencer Duby here live in the Lyona studio, and we're doing things a little differently today. We are kicking it off with an interview. There is a brand new docuseries coming out this Saturday. It's getting its premiere at the St. Clair Center for the Arts. We're having a great time here already in the booth. I am joined by Gavin Michael Booth, the director, and Christie Denomme. She is the better half of The Haunted Zoo, should I say. Jeff Denomme, as you know, his work. This is a great docuseries here. I cannot wait to see this. It's all about Jeff and Christie. They turn blank walls, public spaces, and big ideas into powerful community-driven works of art. And the series is going to capture all that. The projects that pull youth into street art culture, amplify Windsor's tech and food scenes, and spotlight the people shaping the city from the ground up. Welcome, both of you. How are you doing today?
Doing good. Sorry about that. My phone went off. I just really wanted to play Third Eye Blind over the radio, but I don't even know how I triggered that.
Everywhere you go, it follows you, Gavin.
It really does. do.
Yes, Christie, welcome. First time for you here. Welcome.
Thank you.
This is very exciting. You know, this docuseries. I want to ask both of you. Gavin, start with you first. How did you get approached for this docuseries? And then, Christie, what was it like when Gavin asked, well, do you want to make a docuseries with me?
I've known Jeff for over 20 years now. He had a clothing line called Fathom Clothing back in the day. So when I started out doing music videos and was hanging around the bars of Windsor where all the bands played, like Ashes of Soma and Intrameridian and bands back in the day, they were all wearing Fathom Clothing, which is the precursor to Haunted Zoo. Some of the designs and characters have even carried over. So his clothing was in the music videos that I made. You can see his famous bee character on a shirt in some of my earlier feature films back in the day. And I've just always stayed in touch. And then post-pandemic, spending more time in Windsor, even pre-pandemic, got to know Christie as well. And his Haunted Zoo's had a big resurgence and uptick in the last few years. Knowing the folks at Bell and the kind of content that they like, having done the radio station doc and the Boo Crew series about the Scarehouse Windsor, I just thought this is probably an interesting thing and had suggested to Jeff and Christie, you should pitch this because I think having national TV attention for your art brand would be awesome.
Great idea.
Yeah, and I mean, it was really exciting for us when we had these early conversations with Gavin. You know, obviously, he just shared we have a friendship. You know, his and Jeff's friendship goes back 20 years. I've known Gavin now the better part of a decade myself, and not only are we friends of his, but we respect and love and admire his work and his take on how he does things and the different types of projects that he likes to take on and who he likes to feature and how much he's always uplifting everything that is Windsor, Essex. And we respect so much that, he could be making movies anywhere, but he chooses to do so much of that work here. And to have that opportunity to be able to collaborate with him, for us, what a dream come true. It was a no-brainer.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, I know firsthand, right? Got to work with Gavin. He's terrific. And Gavin, I got another question for you. Yeah, I want to know your approach and vision going into this docuseries. Did you do anything different? Kind of keep it the same? You tell me.
Compared to the radio station doc, I got to film outside of one little tiny cube of a room, like here. So a little more expansive in scale. You know, the series is 6 episodes, and each episode centers around a different art creation of all different mediums that the Haunted Zoo was installing, all sort of community-based art. So every episode has a different flavor and a different approach, but the filmmaking style is just to sort of be fly on the wall. And there's a lot of times where Christie and Jeff, they have a home studio where they develop a lot of the projects, do some of the work there before installing it. And just the nature of this project was there were so many days and nights and weekends and holidays where some of the projects were being done that Christie actually filmed quite a bit of it with her iPhone and with a GoPro for time lapses and things. So I was able to arm the Haunted Zoo with just a few filming tips to get even more footage. And I think the biggest thing is having that friendship. Just when your subject trusts you and trusts that you're gonna represent them well on camera, it's a little more freeing, and you don't ever have to sort of force anything out of people. It's much more organic. So my job in documentaries is always just kind of be there with the camera, and they'll tell you the amount of times they're like, "This is heavy, it's gonna fall off the truck. Gavin, help!" And I'm like, that's not my job. I have to just stand over here and film. Sorry.
Jeff had a really hard time understanding that. He's like, you're standing there, you have 2 arms, get in here and help. And he's like, no, nope,
I'm the same way in a set too, where it's just like, whoever can help, let's get this done. But, the joke always became like, well, if it falls off the truck, it's better TV. Yeah.
Oh, man. Christie, I want to ask, you and Jeff, when you get approached to do either something for the city or a neighborhood, how much freedom do you have to come up with your own thing, or do they kind of provide you something that they want you to create?
It's kind of a mix of both. Based on the art style that we work in, people know what they're getting when they come and approach us, right? So they kind of have an idea of what the artwork is going to look like, whether or not we have to create new characters or create new assets. They still always look like they're cohesive and part of the same brand identity, right? So people typically know kind of what they're going to get, but we love that collaborative process of, whether it's Tim Hortons reaching out to us to do something for Camp Day, which is something we did earlier this year. That was incredibly special. And, to be able to collaborate and work with the most iconic Canadian brand, huge win for us, and what a fun creative opportunity. But whether it's someone like Tim Hortons or, the neighborhood boxing club that's featured in the docuseries, Border City Boxing Club on Drouillard Road, no matter who the collaboration is with, it is a collaborative experience. So, they may have a vision or we have a vision of what we want to do with them, and get everybody at the table and see how we can bring that to life.
I can't wait to see all 6 episodes of this. It gets me thinking, because as far as I know, our docuseries ran so smoothly. Question for both of you, was there any sort of challenges along the way with this docuseries?
Finishing it before the premiere on Saturday is a challenge currently. Outside of that, no, I mean, just the art challenges, the installation, the things you'll see in the show, those are the actual creation of the show. Not really other than our timeline would shift, which is also the nature of documentary, that you think we're going to be done filming in this time frame, but due to weather, due to just waiting on approvals to start an art project, due to a million other life issues, things just take longer than you plan. So, but that's all sort of standard stuff and not really dramatic.
But in addition to that too, though, like when we originally pitched the series to Bell, we pitched, here's an idea of some different types of arts projects that we could tackle for the show. And then once we were greenlit and we now have this opportunity and we know that it's going to be shared across much of Canada and it's going to expose a huge, huge network of people to our work, we took that as an opportunity. Okay, what can we do with the time frame that we have? How big can we go? How far can we push ourselves? How far outside of the box can we go? And kind of in this like go big or go home mentality. So that definitely added another layer as well, where we could have played it a little bit small, and took on some challenges that were definitely, not to say within our wheelhouse, but within our capacity. And we kind of stepped very far outside of that boundary.
I think that's one of the things I respect about Jeff and Christie is we have a shared mentality of whatever we've already done, we don't necessarily want to repeat. It's always half of the fun of being an artist. For the three of us, I think I can speak to is the challenge of doing something bigger, bolder, in a style or a way that hasn't been done before. And that's really fun for me, having the same mentality to document people that are trying to be bigger than themselves in terms of like what they put out in the world and the challenges they take on, but also that they're willing to invite a camera along the way, because there is a lot of frustration and learning curves and things that it's not the polish, it's not the shiny thing you see at the end. Jeff has a quote, I'm paraphrasing a bit, but at the beginning of one of the episodes, he says, people don't understand the hours and hours and hours that go into the designing and the moving. He invents a word called millisquanches, which has become like part of my vocabulary now, which is like moving things little micro millimeters here and there.
Move it by one pixel and then move it back.
Does it look any different? Does it look any different? You'll spend 30 minutes on that just to like land where you started. And I think it's that sort of like dedication and willingness to experiment that makes any artist better at their craft.
Awesome. Gavin, you always do a great job at that. And I'm really excited to see this, Christie. Congratulations to you and Jeff. Congratulations to you once again, Gavin. Obviously, you have a great relationship with Bell. It is premiering also on Bell 5-1. That's at a later date. Obviously, this Saturday, the important one, St. Clair College Center for the Arts, the official screening of The Zookeeper. Gavin Michael Booth, Christie Denomme, thank you both so much for coming in, and I can't wait to see this.
Yeah, I'll just say very quickly, it is a free screening. It's at 2 p.m., and you can get tickets on Eventbrite. If you just search The Zookeeper, the name of the series, you will find it. You can bring as many friends, as many family members, your kids. It is kid-friendly, like youth-friendly at least. And we just want to pack the house, and we made it free, sponsored by St. Clair College themselves to make it all possible, and LiUNA, who I know is involved with the radio station. They're another major sponsor for us, and Zekelman Foundation, Joe Melosh Ford here in Amherstburg provided the vehicle that you will see in the show. There's the Honda Zoomobile now, which is wrapped by fast signs. So there's a lot of great Amherstburg connections and community connections that have made this screening and series possible.
Wow, wonderful. Well, thank you both so much. Pleasure to meet you, Christie.
Thank
Great
you.
to see you, Gavin.
Always, yeah.
Thanks for having us.
This has been Spencer Duby here live in the studio for another interview here on Amherstburg's 107.9 FM.